We are already approaching the 1-year anniversary for Splatoon 3 this September, which means there's something to look out for. Yes, the big DLC we've been waiting for, Side Order, where we really haven't seen anything about this, just some kind of concept art it looked like and some drawings, and then obviously the Octoling walking up to the giant Deca Tower. Now with that said, there's not much else to go off of here, and we've been sitting in the dark ever since the reveal in February. So what's going on? Where's the DLC at? And should it be coming out very soon? Well, I actually think it's going to, and I have a lot of information as to why I think so. Also with some brand new leaks talking about what this DLC could have included in it, and some stuff to get us excited because I do feel like the announcement is inevitable. So let me know in the comments down below how excited you are for the Side Order DLC for Splatoon 3, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are excited for this DLC, and help us reach 250,000 subscribers. We are very close. Thank you guys so much for your support, but let's dive into these theories. So first off, let's go back and compare everything to Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 released on July 21st of 2017, and then it received the Octo expansion release on June 13th of 2018, just 11 months later, which is right about the 1-year anniversary, just a month early, but yes, just pretty much about a year later is when we pretty much expected that Octo expansion and when it finally came. Now, something else I want to add real quick is this was just a day after the big E3 Direct, so keep that in mind when we go into the future. Now for Splatoon 3, it released on September 9th of 2022, and based on the past, it should be releasing in August of this year, which is literally in a couple of days will be in August. So are we actually going to get the Splatoon DLC in August? It's hard to say considering the fact we haven't seen anything from this DLC yet. And that's just the thing, we need information for a reveal, so let's go back to the Octo expansion. It was revealed on the March 8th Nintendo Direct at the beginning of 2018, and this was just 3 months until its release. Well, we got this DLC announced for Splatoon 3 on the February Direct of 2023, and we've had nothing since. That includes a skipped June Direct that we just had, where they didn't show us anything besides a new Splatfest announcement. So what is going on? What's the reason why we're waiting so long for information? And is this going to be a normal timing thing? Are we going to have to wait till, further than we did the first time? Like, is this going to be an end of the year sort of situation? Well, what are some reasons this could be? Well, this DLC could be bigger than Octo expansion. It could be something greater and maybe more open areas, and something that kind of changes what we know about the Splatoon campaigns and maybe gears us for something in the future as well. Maybe it's bigger than what a lot of us are imagining. And remember, just because these are DLCs doesn't mean they don't have some greater story implications. Splatoon actually tells some great stories with their DLCs and with their stories and their campaigns in general. So, I can expect there to be some pretty heavy lore with this, so maybe it's just taking longer than normal. There's also a chance that they just drop a trailer on Twitter. Like, they don't need necessarily a Direct to show this thing off. They've already announced it in a Direct, so maybe they're just like, hey, here's another trailer, it's coming out next week. And boom, there's a big release for August right there. And it just kind of makes sense, especially considering the fact that I don't believe there's really anything coming out in August for Nintendo. There's like that one Disney Mickey Mouse game, and I think Dead Cells Return to Castlevania Edition. But besides that, there's nothing else. So this is just perfect for, no Nintendo first-party games are out right now for August, so just throw in Splatoon's DLC. So this could easily be announced literally any day, any week now. So definitely keep your minds and eyes on that for August. It also could just be shadow dropped after the next Direct. I know it's crazy to think about because we just got such a good June Direct, but we're probably getting a September Direct literally in just over a month, which is super exciting. So they could easily just show it off there and release it the next day or at the end of that week, like they kind of did with Octo expansion. It was, shown off again for the E3 Direct and said, hey, tomorrow you're able to play it. So maybe they do something like that. Once again, remember, these are DLCs, and Nintendo doesn't need to send out any type of physical copy or something, so they can release them like shortly after reveals, the same way they've done with Smash Brothers and Mario Kart DLC before. So definitely, once again, keep your eyes open for that. If there's nothing in August, which I kind of expect there to be, keep your eyes on around the month of September. It's probably going to be revealed around that time with the Nintendo Direct, which is normally the second week of September, and released shortly after. Okay, so now that we can kind of pinpoint when this actually might come out, let's talk about what this is even going to be, because we still know really nothing. Now, there has been some leaks based on recent Splatfest. Nintendo has been adding files every Splatfest, and you know, there's a new Splatfest coming out soon, so we'll probably get even more information there. But they've been adding a little bit of files here and there in order to finish this DLC. But let's talk about what we have. So big thanks to NachoL on Twitter for these leaks, and Splat Chanel YouTube for putting them out there for us to find. But this is what we have. Apparently there's files for new enemies. It's like a shell enemy. Well, the file is called shell and Zacho standard. So we don't really know what any of that means, but there you go. Take that with what you will. And then apparently there's going to be 8-ball goal game missions and like celebrations for reaching the goal. And that just sounds directly like Octo expansion with the 8-ball missions, where you had to take the 8-ball to the very end of the level, which I believe a lot of people really enjoyed these. And Octo expansion was seen as a great DLC, and people really missed it, especially considering the fact that a lot of people thought Splatoon 3's campaign wasn't as good as the Octo expansion. Me being one of those people, I thought the Octo expansion was great. Splatoon 3 felt a little too safe and a little, you know, too bland for me. But at the same time, it looks like some of these missions could be returning, which is super exciting, and other missions along those lines. For instance, there's apparently going to be some type of tower control missions, maybe just like the Splat Zones missions and stuff, where you probably fight against maybe some Octolings or something within the actual campaign. I'm not 100% sure about that, but there could be something with tower control. But the actual tower itself, yeah, the big tower that we keep seeing within the only trailer that we've gotten so far, apparently will be going all the way up that tower. There's a beginning query, a high query, a low query, middle query, and just stuff like that. So yeah, we're going up a tower, which is pretty cool. That's probably going to be how the worlds and missions are based, going all the way to the top, which also ties into the bosses, because we might know the final boss known as codename Tower King, which would make sense, the king of the tower. But with that, we also have other boss names such as Ball King. Yeah, and maybe it's just like a giant 8-ball, but we also have Octo Whirl returning from Splatoon 1, which is super exciting for sure, for those of you veterans of the series. And this is nothing new for Splatoon. I mean, we've seen the Octo Stomp return a little too much. I mean, it returned in the Octo expansion. I believe it even was in base Splatoon 2, and it returned in Splatoon 3 pretty much with Fry's boss battle. So yeah, this thing just continues to come back, and it looks like they're gonna bring back maybe some classic bosses. You know what I also miss? I miss the Octo Mall. They had such great potential, they just made it a little too easy. So if they kind of revamped this thing up and made it like an extreme boss battle, that would be so great. Bring back the Octo Mall. But yeah, there's some more in-depth details about those leaks if you wanna go check out NachoL's Twitter account, and also Splat Channel on YouTube, where they'll definitely dive into those a lot further. They will both be linked in the description down below, but let me know down below also what you guys want to see from this DLC, and when do you think it's actually going to come, because it feels like the time is very much near. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you guys head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.